right? A lot of like unskilled jobs. Like, yeah, there is job growth, but it's in jobs that are highly technical or jobs that are extremely demanding, like construction.
Not looking for work, cited insufficient pay as a reason preventing them from work. And nearly half said competitive pay, salary, compensation, and or bonuses was a very important factor when considering whether to enter or return to the workforce.
Yeah, because a man in our society, if you don't make a lot of money, you're considered to be a loser. That's one of the biggest indicators of success in our culture is money.
For the young, better training, skills training, some form of post-high school education, encouraging that, maybe even subsidizing that. I think part of the youth mental health crisis has to do with what's next, what's AI going to do, what am I going to do, are there any stable jobs, I can't afford college, all those questions all come together, and so models that help them, kind of give them a jump start, can be really effective ways of intervening. And there are actually now really promising programs in high schools which teach kids financial literacy. They teach them about equitable entrepreneurship. They teach them about how you foster better mental health as part of the workplace. And it seems to inspire kids to go on to college, right? Because they sort of see a pathway where they didn't see it before.
29.
I do want to say that the problem that I'm talking about, where it's like dumb people that won't be able to find employment because there are no jobs, this is an unsolvable problem. You're not going to be able to educate this out of them. Like, it's just not.
What's up?
Hi, Jira. We brought you here today to let you know.
So, but like, there are a lot of people that are not part of that are still affected by this, and it does help them.
Percent of men out of the labor force said that training and educational programs was another important factor in considering a return to the workforce.
Having the type of commitment from the employer to train and retain and offer upward mobility for workers, I think would be very important.
I think that upward mobility and the lack thereof is a really big factor. And I think that now that the internet has given people an extra level of awareness, I think that you see now how much nepotism and how much unfairness there is in the workforce and in life. So when you see how this happens all the time, it serves as a massive, massive, massive demotivator. Now, obviously, you still have to do that. You clearly have to, and you can succeed despite that. But seeing people succeed when they don't deserve it is very demotivating for a lot of average guys. Yeah, like it really is awful, me being a personal victim to it. Yeah, I mean, and I think that it happens to everybody, and it's not even just there's also okay, I've seen plenty of memes, and it's okay, you're at a construction, it's a construction work site, and it's it shows all the different guys that are working there. It's the old guy that's working, he's doing his best, the young guy who's kind of stupid, and then it shows it's the foreman's son, and he's like this. I get it, right? I definitely get it. And so you see that happen, and then guess what? Yeah, in the car, right? Yeah, he's sitting in the car. That's obviously extremely demotivating. And so as a guy, when you see that happen and you feel like you don't have these advantages for yourself, then, what the fuck are you going to do? And it's a massive demotivator. And I'm not saying because obviously you have to keep working even though that's true. It's not an excuse to just stop working, but for a lot of people, it's a pretty big reason. That's how postal service works, working for mom and dad. I think that there's a lot of things like this.
Figure out more about career pathways in the labor market and not just the education side. So how is it that someone moves from first job, next job, best job? How
exactly.
do we help people understand and navigate?
Yeah, it's if there's no light at the end of the tunnel, don't be surprised if people don't want to get in the tunnel. Fucking obvious.
A quarter of working Americans said they weren't satisfied with their growth opportunities in the workplace.
Yeah. I'm surprised
to other OECD countries that on average spend 0.1% of their GDP on training their workers. The U.S. spent only 0.03% of their GDP on job training in 2022.
older age groups, it's tougher. You know, you're probably not going to get these guys to retrain, but you can get. There are a lot of programs that have largely been pioneered in the UK, much more than here, but we're starting to pick up on them that literally just try and reboot community activities.
This is something that was very popular in like the 40s with FDR. He did this a lot, and it was like generally, even now, like it's looked back on as a positive, right? It is. And somebody said, let me see if I can read this real quick. I don't know where it was, but yeah, somebody said basically if you think other people's success is your failure, then you deserve to fail. That's not true. Like if you have one promotion that's at your office, and the person that gets it for a reason they shouldn't have gotten it for, there is absolutely a zero-sum environment that you operate in. To say otherwise is so disingenuous. Absolutely, it is a zero-sum environment. With a lot, there is scarcity of everything. And if somebody gets something, in a lot of cases, it means you're not getting it. That's just how it is.
get these isolated people in despair out of their houses, it can make a difference.
Social programs like disability benefits spark contentious debate.
It's very controversial. People have very strong opinions. about this. While we don't know why it is happening, we can be pretty clear that the social welfare programs are helping and the disability programs.
It's a cultural issue too. I think a lot of it for men is a cultural issue. Where like there's always discussions around toxic masculinity, all the things that men are doing wrong. It's popular in media to have men look like idiots in sitcoms. There are advantages and programs that are existent for the benefit of women, but not for men. There are a lot of things, like, especially if you're a young guy, you feel like the odds are stacked against you. And I think that's true. Like, there's a lot of massive disadvantages that men have. Being a man's very hard. I mean, I've said before, I'm so glad I'm a guy and not a girl, right? Like, I am so glad. I would not want to be a girl, right? Because I think it's worse. But as a young guy, especially, like, I'm 34 now, right? So, like, I'm not in that part of my life anymore. But as a guy who's 20, think about the opportunities that women have when they're 20, and think about the opportunities that men have when they're 20. They're very different. And for a lot of you guys, how many of you guys are like around my age, and you've seen that pendulum swing, right? Where like there are those women that you knew in high school, maybe, or college, that, you know, were getting all of these advantages and benefits, and now they're not anymore. And there's men now that are doing very well. Yeah, exactly. I've seen it. I see it, right? And like the thing is that, like, but a young man, a 20 and 19-year-old guy, isn't going to see that. He's not going to see that because he had, like, he's not 40 yet. He's not 35. He's not 30 yet. So that's the problem. Late game blow up, there it is. Yeah, men have really good late game scaling.
Helping to finance this situation in a way that was never originally intended.
A 2018 analysis by the Joint Economic Committee that 64% of prime-age men who aren't working were receiving some sort of government assistance.
So the one benefit that they rely heavily on is disability insurance. One, because they often are unable to work if they have a physical injury or high levels of addiction or whatever. But it also provides health insurance, which is huge.
Very much against the initial intentions of the founders of the program. They've ended up with a perverse situation that too often subsidizes or even incentivizes helplessness and long-term dependence. If we thought
it's inevitable. I don't think that there's any way around having some sort of universal basic income. I feel like it is inevitable. We either have to have that or we have to kill a bunch of people. Like most people, basically. If we can't afford it, well, then you have to kill them. Because, like, if you don't kill them, then they'll kill you. Because they don't have any money, they have nothing to lose. That's just what's going to happen. Well, no, I'm just saying, like, that's what's going to happen. Like, you can't have a massive underclass of people that has no purchasing power, that effectively is a slave class. This is a recipe for disaster. Like, it is. Like, it's not going to work. Isn't that scary? I'm just saying, like, that's what's going to happen. Causes civil unrest. Think about how it was in 2020 with all those riots.
About a system in which we had a work-first principle where the incentives were for getting the training.
French Revolution felt it. French Revolution was against the royalty versus aristocracy. It was not the French Revolution was not the poor people going and killing the rich people. It was the rich people killing the royalty.
And showing up at the job and staying at the job. I think we'd be in a lot better place than we are today.
However, some experts remain doubtful about whether altering the benefits program will lead to meaningful results.
I think until we deal with the deeper problem of ill health, ill mental health, these guys aren't going to respond to incentives.
Everybody is responsible for their bodies. Everybody's responsible for their neighbors and their friends.
No, they're not.
And we ourselves as citizens can help to shine a spotlight on this. It shouldn't be America's invisible problem. And the more that we talk about it, the more that we pay attention to it, the closer we get to turning this around.
I'm going to be honest. This is going to be very, very toxic masculinity. I think that we indulge people's mental health too much. I think that we listen to how people feel too much. Suck it the fuck up and deal with it. Be a fucking man. Stop being a bitch. I don't know when the idea of being stoic and working hard and being able to control yourself and rise above your emotions was seen as a bad thing, but enabling that type of behavior just creates losers.
So this is how I like to think about coding.
coding is writing, but it's not just math and numbers.
That's it. Yep, losers lose. That's right. Sound like me? Yep. Life difficulty too high, need easy mode? I guess so, yeah. And I think also, like, if you hold people to like low standards, you're gonna have them meet those standards. This was a good video. I think that the problem is that any sort of mainstream publication that talks about this topic always has to talk around the topic. They're always talking around the topic, and they're not understanding and really digging deep into like the cultural problems that men face and how those cultural problems contrive the way a male sees the world. Because it's massive, right? It's like if you're a guy, you're going on dating apps and like you can't get a girlfriend, you can't get a job, you feel like life is against you. It sucks. Yeah, it's absolutely bad. And the problem also is like media, I think, does a very bad job at presenting positive male role models, because there's a lot of issues where it's like, what is being a man? What is being masculine? Nobody fucking knows. That's the problem. The way that I look at everything is that I try to see everything, and every bad thing that happens to me, I view it as being my fault. Like that is the way I start my investigation into a problem. I think, how did I cause this to happen? Because that takes the locus of control and it puts it on your side of the court. That gives you the agency. Now you have control. You see what I'm saying? And I think also there are times that you can work backwards from that and come to the conclusion that it actually wasn't your fault and you didn't do anything wrong. But that's not the good way to start. And I think that nowadays a lot of self-help is about teaching people different pleasant versions of learned helplessness. It's everything is okay, you know, oh, well, you know, like the world is against you, so that's why you're failing. Oh, well, men have it harder, that's why you're failing. And there's always some sort of external force that's holding you down. I think this is what happens with identity politics too. It's like, well, you know, the reason why you can't get a job is because they're giving all your jobs to women and trans people. Like, yeah, I'm sure that happens sometimes, but there's plenty of people that look like you that have a job too, so why aren't you one of them, right? And so a lot of times the problem is that a lot of these lies are based, what? What do you mean, what? It's absolutely true. What are we talking about? Like, I mean, listen. I like just talking about things directly. I don't like talking around them. I don't like using euphemisms. I don't like using pleasantries. I try to just speak fucking plain English, right? And in plain English, that's what it fucking is. That's the way people think. And so, yeah, no beating around the bush. Exactly. You do understand the South African situation? Your brain would explode? I do not want to understand that. Fuck that. Working class have been disenfranchised from work. Well, the reason why the working class have been disenfranchised from work is because they're not getting paid for it. Like, if you look at productivity and what a person has to do now versus what they had to do 30 years ago, you have to do way more work and you're getting paid less money. Why the fuck would you want to do that? It's not even a question. I'll be right back.
I should be studying at the Azhar University, but it got bombed.
Responding to checking messages Saturday night. It saddens me to come to this after months of reassuring me that it was all RP. Wow, that's crazy. Has anybody got Nick's take on this situation? Like, they're spawn camping themselves. It's like you spawn in Halo, the first thing you do is look at the ground and you throw a grenade. There he is. First thing you do.
Welcome back. Today we're breaking down Galaxy Gas. Who's behind
boy.
it? Is it bad? Is it really just for food? And am I in my old man arc? Because
I feel like that's like the only one, right? There are none. So what's the point? So, okay, maybe people didn't read it or understand what happened. So basically, what they're being accused of is that they're using a very specific icon in Japanese history. That this icon right here is a living monument of the damage that whenever we nuclear bombed Japan in World War II. So we dropped a nuclear fucking bomb on them. It like evaporated the entire fucking city in like a massive radius, right? Yeah, well, the United States did. And so, yeah, not really we too. Well, this is the Nagasaki one, but there was the other Hiroshima one, right? But yes, so the U.S. nuclear bombed Japan. And in the process of nuclear bombing Japan, this thing right here was still left standing, and it was halfway destroyed. You see what I'm saying? Look at this. A figurine destroyed Torii Gate has been released. So what they're doing here is that they're using a symbol that is a remnant of World War II in a game that's supposed to be historical. And they have even touted its historical relevance and the fact that they're using a historical character that happened in the late 1500s. Tectone timeline? No, even Tectone wouldn't have fucked this up because he said it was in the 1800s. This is twice as bad as Tectone. He was off by like 100 years, 200 years. They're off by 300 or 400 years. I'm Korean and this is offensive to me. This is like, you know what it's like? It's like if somebody made yes! This is like if somebody made a fucking video game of New York and the new Spider-Man video game and it shows the Twin Towers. Yes, that's exactly what it would be like. Yes, it would be like, oh wow, it's New York, look at the Twin Towers. They're right there. Oh my God. I am... That would be funny? It would be funny. It would be very funny. It would actually be really, really, really funny. Be historically relevant? I guess so, yeah. 9/11 didn't happen in the Spider-Man universe? Yeah. You're just like... Or on the contrary, you show a video of like 1995 New York and the Twin Towers are gone. You see what I'm saying? So, well, so this is why it matters. This is why people are talking about it, right? Is that this game came out and a lot of people... It seems very obvious to any person who's not insane that the reason why they're using Yasuke as a character is because it's a black person, right? It was like an African person. And they're doing this for a racial reason. It's obvious. 100% chance, right? This is, and again, like if you look at the studio, half of the people talking about it are like, actually, you look at the fucking picture. You look at the picture of all the people that made the game, they're all white people. So yes, I absolutely think that they would do this. They're, yeah, white women, exactly, right? Who are trying to do something good. And so, actually there was an ad that has a giant spider web between the Twin Towers catching a helicopter or something. 9/11 happened right after that and they removed it. Yeah, but that's the thing though, is like, that was before 9/11. So that's the difference. Couldn't have made him literally any other famous samurai. There's a ton of them. So there has been a lot of criticism about Assassin's Creed because people view them as, what's really the word for it? Colonizing, pillaging, co-opting, appropriating Japan's culture and their history in order to push a narrative that is socially consistent with like their like Western worldview. And so this is another point on the graph that is making a very, very straight line that points in a direction that Ubisoft has no fucking idea what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no respect for Japanese culture. All they're doing is they're looking for a way that they can virtue signal and show that they care about minorities. And they're doing it at the expense of Japanese culture and at the expense of Japanese history. So when you're using something like this that is a remnant of, like, I mean, a nuclear bomb, this is how bad the nuclear bomb was, right? Is that it evaporated people in a way that their shadows are still there, but their body is evaporated. Like, it's like some fucking, like, Thanos, Marvel, like, Twilight Zone shit. Like, insane insane level of destruction, right? Like, the world had never seen anything like that before, and it probably hasn't seen anything like that since then. And so, yes, nuclear bomb, horrible. And so you're taking something like that, and then you're co-opting a symbol of that, it seems. You're co-opting a symbol of that as a way to sell a product that makes a mockery of the of Japanese culture and Japanese history. Completely disrespects it. As I said, it's like if you made a video game nowadays, the new Spider-Man movie comes out and it's set in New York and the Twin Towers are there. Bomb is deserved. I don't look. It's a war. I'm not talking about like I'm saying that like if you think about it from Japan's POV and all the people that got killed from that, that's horrifying, right? Like horrifying things happen in war all the time. Like Pearl Harbor was the same way. It's not. I'm not talking about like whether it was a good or a bad thing. I'm saying that like just from their perspective, it was horrible. It was really, really bad. So yeah, of course. I mean, it was so bad, it caused the Emperor to fucking end the war. That's crazy.
Let's go melodies, psychedelic.
Yeah, if they fuck up recent history, how reliable is their knowledge of the minute details from their game? Well, it's not reliable at all. It's been everything about it's been wrong. Man, I don't know how this keeps happening. To be honest with you, I really don't know. It's funny how how they made every single wrong move possible. Could this even be something like internal sabotage at this point? I hope that it is. And it's like this is what makes people believe in conspiracy theories. Because it's like, there's no way that people can be collectively this stupid and do things this badly. Also in Japanese culture, surrender is dishonor, so for them to give up, that's how bad the nukes were. Oh yeah, no, I mean, because you have to remember, like, Japan didn't give up after the first nuclear bomb. They kept fighting, then they got bombed again, and then they said, okay. All right, okay. Yeah, that's it. 2, yeah, exactly, right? We had 3. We just made more until that was it, right? I mean, like, that's what it was going to be. I think that you're underestimating the stupidity of liberal white women. It's not stupidity. It is self-aggrandizement. And what's the word for it? Oh, man. I got to think the word. It's virtue signaling, right? It's egotistical, performative virtue signaling. That's what it is. Yeah, egocentric. Yeah, it's completely egocentric, totally egocentric, in absolutely all ways. Update to this: Ubisoft canceled all press previews of Assassin's Creed worldwide. Wait, what? They canceled all press previews. Now, according to Insider Gaming, Ubisoft has also canceled previews of Assassin's Creed Shadows that were taking place next week. should do? A Japanese developer should make a game, because they're French, right? They should make a game about Napoleon and then get everything wrong.
This is where it ends.
Have Napoleon be like a woman, and you know, it's like you know, some woman from like Cuba.
Drive safe.
And like have her like, I don't know, fucking like, yeah, like have her be like 6.5 feet tall, right? Like have her be really tall, like taller than everybody. And then, oh man, have them ride elephants. Yes, have them ride elephants. And then instead of have it be a guillotine, change it to, how about the Rack or something like that, like an Iron Maiden. And so just totally change the history completely. Get every single thing wrong. And it's like Napoleon doesn't get sent to an island. He actually just like, he just becomes the new king, and then that's it. And then everybody lived happily ever after. That's what they need to do. A Japanese studio needs to do this. Yeah, show them how it feels. But I thought their Japanese fans loved Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's what the Redditors told me. I didn't see people see the "I'm Japanese and I love Assassin's Creed" beep boop comments. That's what's soon gonna get me off this platform. Editors are always so confidently say the weirdest takes when they're completely wrong. Assassin's Creed Shadows is actually amazing. Concord was amazing. All the new Marvel shows and movies are amazing. So the reason why Redditors do that is that, so there's one thing that Redditors don't like, and they don't like people that are smart and authoritative. So a smart, authoritative person, Redditors find ways to try to knock that person down a few pegs because they're retarded and they're insecure about their own life. So what they do is they try to figure out a way, oh no, this is actually, they're wrong, they're bad for whatever reason. That's why it happens. That's it, not in your eyes. Yep, there you go. They're retarded, yes. And so when I see this, I'm not surprised at all. And so you can see this with any person who's authoritative or has any degree of experience in a field. If you go and you read the comments about that person, there's always going to be comments saying that they're wrong. Because Redditors, like Reddit is the peak, like pseudo-intellectual platform. Like, people on Twitter are just emotional fucking vampires. People on 4chan are retarded and they know they're retarded. People on Facebook are retarded and they don't know that they're retarded. People on Reddit are retarded and they think they're smart. That's the difference. Fuck, man. They own that shit? Yeah. Holy shit. So this is the new mod.
Start your breakfast the right way with Luzine bread. Whether you're an early bird or you just missed the alarm, Luzine sliced.
Is there anything about State of Play that you're pretty hyped about? I mean, they said they're announcing 20 new games. That's crazy. So yeah, I'm excited about this a lot. Absolutely. 100% I'm excited. Bingo sheet? Yeah, I have the bingo set up. This is bingo for the event. That's my bingo. All right, here we go. We can have Monster Hunter World with this. actually really good. That's cool. It must be such a relief for Sony to actually have like a brand figure like that, you know? Oh, no. Yeah, like imagine you work in the marketing department at Sony. Bro, like, you are glazing the people that made Astrobot. Thank God. I still need to play this. I do want to try it out myself. 10 new bouts to rescue. Oh, bots. Oh, that's Stellar Blade. The Helldivers. So stupid, yeah. Oh my God.
It was mutual.
Not some of the, I guess those type of people were not there at that time. Glad you're back to making content. Thanks. Thank you. I'm not really. Dan's take. Okay, yeah, I'll read Dan's take. I like Dan. Is this something I can watch on stream? I don't know if it says. Okay, yeah, we can watch it. Yeah, it's just fighting. It's like, it's a Twitch clip. E-Rob sucker punched Darius at TwitchCon after confirming he didn't lie. Oh my god, this is like, this isn't like what I was talking about though. This is just just like streamer drama. This isn't like people intentionally walking around harassing people. Yeah, I don't care about this. This is dumb. I like literally don't care. The kind of idea of the idea of like the TwitchCon harassment though is actually interesting. Because it sort of begets like, what's the appropriate response to comments like that? Just walk away? Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, the thing about fighting is like, okay, I don't know if I'm not ready to have this talk 10 minutes into the stream, but we'll do it anyway. I've been in martial arts all my life. Most people know that. I used to compete. I started when I was 4 years old. Like, really badass people will tell you that like fighting's cool or whatever. My opinion on it is that usually, even if you're really good at fighting, you can cause an injury or be injured in a way, just accidentally. Just stuff kind of goes crazy in street fights a lot of the time, and the vast majority of the time, it's not worth it. Because if you seriously injure somebody or become seriously injured, like you could just trip on. Like human beings are kind of fragile. If you trip on something, hit cement or something like that, like you're looking at like you've gone from like, I don't know, like an assault charge to like an attempted murder charge. It's like that bad. So even if you are really, really confident that you can win a fight, you probably shouldn't do it. The only time that you should really fight is if you genuinely feel like your life is in danger. And even then, like we used to have a class that I taught at the school, and it was called Street Awareness. And the Street Awareness class was about how to confront various different situations. One of the situations that you could get into is like if somebody ever pulls a gun on you, don't do some Israeli IDF thing that you watched on YouTube, like where you're like, like Denzel Washington type stuff. Just give them whatever they want, right? Like your wallet and your credit card and all that stuff is just not worth like your life. Like do everything you can to just give them whatever you want. And then leave if you can, or get out. Like your life is the most worthwhile thing. Nothing on you is worth that. So I generally think at those conferences, like if you run into that kind of situation, just like go, like don't like get ego about it. Just like walk to the just walk to like the nearest authority or police or whatever, and it's no problem. That's how I feel about it. What are we doing, guys? What is this? What are you dudes doing in here? Just calm down. This is a business stream. All right. Jesus. Where am I at? Oh yeah. So that's, I guess, yeah. You know what really is like the weird thing about TwitchCon and stuff like that I can't figure out is like what is going on with the like the fact that these guys, like Mizkif is a very wealthy person, and private security is not that, like badass private security, like hard pipe hitting motherfuckers is not that hard to hire. It's like $100 a day per person. I know because I've hired it. So not for myself, I'm not that cool, but for A-list people that we activate as an agent. And it's like, if you want super, super hardcore, like, people, you know, for $200 or $300 a day, which is not even close to, like, what these guys are making, you just have those dudes walk around with you. I remember the Koreans have this figured out. Like, in esports, I remember that Faker had the biggest dude with him I've ever seen. And I didn't talk to Faker at PAX. I didn't. I was like, that guy's huge. There's no way I'm gonna deal with that dude. Like, there's no way. Security isn't content. I don't think that people like, I understand what you're saying, and there might be a little bit of that, but I don't think people like NMP, like Nick, that like legitimately got harassed at TwitchCon were looking for content. I just don't. How do I say this? It's not that they're looking. They're not. It's not that they're looking for content. It's just that they're not that smart. I'd say like in a business sense, in like a delegation sense, like like this is something that like an agency would think about in like 10 seconds. Like and it's like if I'm running like an A-list celebrity or the equivalent of one, because like these people are not A-list celebrities, but at these conventions they are, right? You just pack a lot of heat behind those people or around those people, and you also use like a lot of conventional. Like a lot of people don't know, like every convention hall is set up with back end areas. Like you can walk through the entire convention and get to different places without ever seeing anybody, because there's backroom hallways. Every stadium has this. Like when we were trying to get players into Madison Square Garden or whatever like that, you would just go through this like little tunnel system. There's always like a back there's like a back alley type of place where they just have like security and metal detector and they can just walk people in. So there's a lot of ways to get around this. And the reason why I dislike TwitchCon more so than any other convention that I go to is because they ignore every single one of these perfectly reasonable things to do in order to like create this feeling, this super parasocial feeling of like the streamers walking around. And so it causes all these problems like this. You don't have this shit happen at like regular conventions because this is all figured out. Like if Kevin Hart wants to go to a convention and give a talk there, they have that entire thing figured out. Like Kevin Hart's not going to walk through the center of the convention hall and have hordes of like followers like running after him. I don't understand why TwitchCon does this. The meet and greets are super controlled. They're getting better, but like super controlled, like to me means like one, 5'11" dude. At like Twitch, yeah, like yes.